Welcome to Tune to Life.
Hello.
And today's topic is money, the root of all evil. Obviously, we've been talking about this for centuries,
Jeez, yeah.
talking about it in different ways, different situations. But we thought we'd look at it from a philosophical point of view, perhaps, and look at where we are now, because money is such a keen thing now. Money is such a big thing,
Oh, it is.
so important, and it seems to be it's all about the money now.
Oh, no, it's all about the money. It's the
It really
it's
is.
the platform.
Everything
Sits on
is
the
that
platform.
way.
Yep.
So you look about in terms of, working, marriages, relationships, everything, friendships.
Yeah.
It's all about the money, what money can bring to you, who you need to be around for that money, what you need to be doing, your status. Everything is all centered around money. So is money the root of all evil? And to get to that question really quickly, I'm going to sort of unpack this. We're going to say, no, money in itself,
Yeah.
think about it, physical money, a coin, a piece of paper, it's not. It's a very powerful medium.
Yeah.
But in its own right,
No, that's right, yeah.
it's not. It's a blank canvas. It's nothing more than what it is. It's just a tool.
That's right.
A tool that can get you to A, B, or C, to your destination one way or another. What happens during that process, or what happens when you arrive at your destination, is really down to your own nature, your own construct, the way you are as a human being. So really, in one way, it sort of amplifies who you really are, or necessarily lifts the veil as to your true nature.
Yeah,
and your true nature will shine through in that. So we're looking at, and I've written up some little bits here and there what I think of it. So in a roundabout way, with money, we fear it. Some people fear money. We envy it. When people have it, we envy the money.
That's right.
We worship it, condemn it, often in the same breath. But like I said, money is not really the root of all evil. And, and it's not just merely economic either at all. It's sort of metaphysical in its own right, isn't it? It's psychological, it's social. It's deeply relational in that sense. And so I think that, as I said before, and it's been discussed over the centuries as to what it is, what its value is. But I suppose it's what you do with it, isn't it?
Definitely.
It's what you do with it. I mean, looking at billionaires, we look at billionaires in that sense of what they do with money. And everybody looks and adores, what it would be like to be a billionaire.
Yeah.
Not everybody, but a lot of people do. Some people say, no, I wouldn't want to be a billionaire, and make all these ideologies about what they would do if they had some money, what they would do. But if they were given $1 billion, they wouldn't be complaining. Yeah? They wouldn't be complaining. Yeah? But really, what it comes down to is you as an individual.
That's right.
So even though you give somebody $1 billion or billions, then they might start out small by buying all little trinkets that they need.
Yep.
Then looking at maybe their family, perhaps. Then making judgments about their friends, their family, whatever, as to who is deserving, who is not
money.
deserving,
That's right, yeah.
who is good or who is bad. Then they cast their judgments on their local area, then the community, and then before you know it, nationally, then internationally, then they have a worldview.
That's right.
About what they think should and shouldn't happen in the world. And that's what's so scary, because you see people, you see billionaires, thinking, well, I think this should happen or that shouldn't happen. Why is it that their view, their desire
dictates
is now imposed and dictated upon nations or races of people?
That's right.
Because, we have heard of eugenesis.
Oh, yes, that's right. That's a good
Of
point.
which, there is allegedly, for example, Bill Gates allegedly, and people like him have the eugenic sort of thoughts, modern eugenic thoughts. And they feel that there are too many people in the world. And people make these decisions. People sit there and discuss how the world should be and to put themselves in a position of leadership.
Yeah.
Where in my humble opinion,
Yeah.
they lack that moral fiber. They lack that balanced wisdom to be able to making those decisions.
Some sort of like gods, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Demigods in essence. Yeah.
How have they arrived
Arrived
at
at
that
that
position?
position, yeah.
Because of the money that they
they
have.
have.
And then they may give some sort of balance or nuanced debate that people clap and think, oh, that's wonderful. But who are they to be making that sort of decision? Whether, you know, there was some talk about whether people in overly populated countries, what people believe are overpopulated,
Okay.
that they should have, you know, sterilization.
Wow.
Yeah. I think he wanted to introduce some form of sterilization.
That's a very powerful position to be in, isn't it?
Yeah. And you may agree, disagree, and this and that, but who are you really? Think about, these are not cattle or sheep.
That's right.
But who you had to make a decision about that person, if you get that person a name.
That's right.
Give that child a name. And you're saying to that person or female, you shouldn't have children. You shouldn't do this. Surely there's a different approach. You see, my point is the different approach. Through education, through help, through support. Yeah?
Yeah.
And there's different arguments about this. You have some people saying the world is overpopulated. Everybody sings along. And you hear this constantly.
Yeah.
And you have some people saying, world's not overpopulated.
That's right, yeah.
I think Elon Musk was saying the world's not overpopulated. If you put everybody standing up straight, you could fit the whole world into Australia.
Wow, really?
Apparently so.
Okay.
I know how true that statement was.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe it wasn't coming from him. Maybe somebody
else,
said, he said, but whatever. But they're saying the world's not overpopulated. I think. But from my humble position, who am I? Just an ordinary guy. Going off point, but my point is this about what money does, is that people are put into power by other people who have money. And the people in those countries, let's look at Africa, rather than me going round and round in circles so people understand what I'm talking about. Various African countries are hugely mineral rich.
That's right.
And have resources beyond our understanding. Resources that can, help the world in many different ways. And in those countries, you find people suffering.
Yeah. People
starving.
At the extreme level, the other level, yeah.
And on the outside, trying to understand why that is. Why is that? Trying to understand how a country becoming mineral rich. I mean, beyond your understanding. And the people there are poor as hell. And then there are some people, a handful of people, that are so rich, it's obscene. Okay? Obscene. Why is that? Is it money that creates that? No, I would argue. It's the nature of the individual and the person.
Yeah.
And so it begs the question now. There are going to be people who will encourage certain people, put people in positions of power.
That's right, yeah.
To ensure that they negate their responsibilities and make sure their hands are tied. To act in a particular way, not to build their country up.
That's right, yeah.
That's what I think. And, we see this now, particularly with social media and so on going on, and, that countries exist around the world in this situation. And why is it that there are a few thousand people that probably have 80% of the world's wealth?
Yeah.
they control and have 80% of the world's wealth. Doesn't make sense.
No, it does. It doesn't make sense. Yeah.
And so it relates to the people that
themselves
have the money, not about the people that, not about the 80% of the people that don't have the wealth.
money. Yes, yeah.
So the people that have it, their mindset, their thinking. So it would seem to me that getting rich or having a certain desires a certain mindset to get into that club,
Yeah, it's funny you say that.
to be selfish, to be narcissistic,
Yeah.
to have a sort of unilateral worldview that fits in with a particular narrative and a behavior to be able to be in that club.
Yeah.
It would seem to me.
Yeah.
So it's not about the money.
No.
It's about the thinking.
The think about
The prescribed thinking.
That's right.
To be in that position.
Yeah.
That's what I
think
think
I agree.
as an ordinary
I would agree
person.
with you. And it's funny, I read something about 5 things that they talked about, the kind of psychology of money. And I think the kind of traits and characteristics. Now, one of them was about kind of empathy, the lack of empathy that people that had a lot of money we're talking about here. There was a sense that they were less empathetic than those around them. And obviously...
And yeah, why? I think the reason why, just look at that one point, why they'll be left empathic in that sense, or potentially could be so, some, not all, could be so, is because if you have a lot of money and you're able to buy a situation, go to court, I believe I'm right, and you can buy justice.
That's right,
Yeah. If you are in a situation where you have a number of friends around you or people around you that rely on you, no one's going to contradict you.
That's right. No, there's not going to be no in that room.
Everyone's going to say yes, and no knows. So after a period of time of being in that sort of environment where people are encouraging and supporting whatever ideals or values you project, it's going to breed a degree of arrogance.
That's right, definitely.
And a social position that may not necessarily be empathic. And I think that's probably why.
No, and,
degree of arrogance to it,
and it's funny, because that actually brings me to the second thing, because the other thing that they mentioned was about moral judgment and being untouchable, in that sense of entitlement. And I think about when I look at President of the United States, Trump, and how he's come into power. And this power that he has now is just on a whole nother level.
But it's not just him.
I know. Yes, I know. There's many people.
I think there are people. There are people who have money, and let's not mess about this, because you've got people who maybe win the lottery, or people who just have had a business, worked really hard, or been very lucky and successful, or in the entertainment industry and make a lot of money overnight. And they learn along the way and do what they do. But then you have people or families who are old money.
Legacy.
Born into it, multi-generational. That's a whole different position.
That is a whole different position.
And that's what we need to be talking about, because they're the ones that have real focus, real influence.
On what happens out
and
there.
they will buy into, for example, you may be skilled as a entertainer or this or that, and I am old money, and I may think, well, you could be useful. And I may bring you into a position where you have feigned power, feigned sort of position of authority.
That's right,
Not real, because I can end your position anytime I choose. So that's a whole different ball game again. You see, which people are not looking at. So, we understand that. I mean, my position is that what do I think about governments, generally speaking? Just as my position, and I could be wrong. But just what I think. I think governments are moving towards now are just being like mascots. just there to make us feel that we live in a democratic
Democratic society.
situation
Okay.
that hear the people.
Okay.
We were talking about the government, like for example, Keir Starmer's like listen to the people, and I'm thinking, well, there are a lot of intelligent people that are involved in government and look at policy, create policy, whatever it is, and a lot of it doesn't seem to make sense.
It doesn't make
And
sense. You're right.
the action, the policies don't seem to, bring about the sort of outcomes
Yes, yeah.
that they say they want
Should
to
do, but I
achieve.
know, yeah.
And you can see it won't do,
That's
but it's all
right.
pushing on to do it anyway. And people say how silly they are, but I think they're stupid. So I think there's something else
going on
going
there.
on.
Okay, yeah.
That's my humble
I know,
opinion.
I'd agree with that,
And
definitely.
who
Yeah.
I don't believe for 1 minute that multinational business, hugely powerful and successful people, money that's been there for a long time, has no influence over governments. I think they do.
Yeah.
Because they're always there.
There.
Governments come
And
and
they
go.
go, yeah.
Come and go. They're always there.
Yeah.
So, for example, AI coming through, we can see where that's taking us.
That's right.
Governments are way behind it.
That's
Industry
right,
is
yeah.
leading that.
That's right, yeah.
In terms of what we do and how we do what we do, what's going on here?
Yeah, that's right.
But anyway, money is something I think is a tool. And that's what we've got to understand. And it's just, when we look at ordinary people, yes, they can lift the veil in terms of who we are. And we if we're just not a very nice person, then it's just going to bring that out and let us extend and, flex our view of the world and people in a way that's not very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or if you are a generous person by nature, it will allow you to be more generous. It will allow you to maybe invest in things that are going to raise our conscious awareness of beauty and good things. Or it will, if you're really rich, again, look at research in, getting rid of, chronic diseases and ailments and so on. So it can be a lot of good. But depending on the person who has it and their worldview.
Yeah.
And the imposition of that view can then be sustained, can help people.
Yeah. I'm wondering now, Andrew, that even in that place, because I think there's kind of subtleties there in terms of understanding yourself. And I think, say, for example, I'm talking about, an average Joe Public, I'm thinking about, they're under pressure, cost of living crisis. How much time do they have to really think about, what's really going on for them, and understand that in terms of their behavior? I think some of this stuff's kind of unconscious, if that makes sense, in terms of the fact how we kind of operate.
Yeah, I think, there are, for us as ordinary individuals, there's a lot. I mean, I do understand it personally, the unconscious relevance, sorry, got it out there, of how things impact us on the unconscious level.
Yeah.
But general public don't really understand that.
Yes, I'm thinking
how TV, how people come and repeat things, how when there's any discussion on the mass media talking about government agenda or policy, how short sound bites are repeated over and over again, and people believe it.
That's right.
Immigration, the boats, immigration, the boats. People jump on it, and it takes it away from the realities of things.
Yeah.
But that's a whole nother ballgame.
Yeah.
But in terms of money,
that's right. Yeah.
I mean, people need to understand this. We're in a situation now here. We haven't got money for this. We haven't got money for that.
That's right.
Next minute, so many billion pop up for a war. So many billion pop up for this. So many billion, and the people don't see it.
They don't.
You got to look at it like this, in a sense that if you're at home and you've got a family of 3, you got a wife there or something, and you keep saying to your family, "We've got no money for holiday this year. We've got no money for this year. We've got no money for that." And you turn up with a new car. Right? Yeah. And your wife thinks, "I thought you said there's some money." "Oh no, I managed to get this." Next week you turn up with new suits. But But you said there's
You need the
there's
money.
no money.
That's right.
And okay, I'll buy you a very cheap dress or a very, very cheap. I'll just manage to squeeze this in there. The next minute, you got this, you
That,
keep
yeah,
popping up with your things. Everyone in the house was now thinking, well, Dad, you're
lying.
lying.
That's right. That's
You're
right.
lying. Why are you
Lying.
lying?
That's right.
And it seems to be that people see this,
But
but there's no response.
no, there isn't.
Because they're sold.
Yeah.
Where's no money? There's no money. There's no money. There's no money. There's no. And they keep singing
and
it
believing
to a
it.
point where it becomes
To be
true.
Your reality. Isn't it?
It becomes a
Yeah.
reality. And they just keep saying it.
That's right.
We
yeah.
have no money. We have no money. We
That's
have no
right,
money.
that's right.
And everybody believes it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, where believes it, and people argue it and look at it in a way. Well, there's this and this, and believe as it's true.
It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, isn't it? Really.
I don't believe it.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah.
That's another story. And people can argue this and that with me. It's fine, but I don't believe it because money seems to pop out of nowhere for all sorts of different things. But that's another thing. But I suppose in terms of where we are, in terms of how money is and creates, it's the thinking behind that people need to get with it. The thinking, the thought that once you have money, you're trying to get money, there is a position that a certain section of society needs to be. They need to behave in a particular way,
Okay.
and then you're rewarded.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah?
But it's almost like there's a system there then that
Yes,
creates
exactly.
that. Yeah.
You're rewarded for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't be giving and be, be selfless in that sense, or you can be, but you won't have much of it.
But that's right. That's right. Yeah.
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 You have to be a particular way. See? For example, business.
Okay.
Looking at business. Successful businesses. Successful businesses aren't successful because they're giving money away, helping their staff doing this, generating wealth with it for their staff, and everybody's living and eating well.
Sure.
No. Companies have to make tough decisions.
That's right.
Cut staffing, keep profits high, keep shareholders happy, and then they're rewarded. That's the system that we live in.
That's right. That's right.
So there is so much to understand in that respect. And then money is as a tool. Yeah. So we could say society, what I've written down here is society uses money as a proxy for value because it's legible, it's countable, it's comparable. And people crave simple rankings because ambiguity is emotionally demanding. You see. So wealth signals competence, even when it doesn't, really. Yeah. But poverty signals irresponsibility, even when it doesn't. Right? Luxury signals winning. And nothing actually means winning. And debt signals failure, even though you may not have failed. But it is just society's hallucination into believing that these are the real consequences. That's part of it. So when status is tied to wealth, people begin to create their lives and appearance rather than meaning, you see. They buy symbol success to compensate for insecurity.
That's right.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
The work and their job erodes their souls into maintaining an image.
That's right.
Yeah. That isn't feeding them, become performers of prosperity.
That's right.
You see?
I think you see that a lot. I think you see that a lot nowadays.
Yeah. And then we see, and we've got to look at this as well. We've got to look at the fact of money in relationships.
That's a biggie.
Money in marriages.
That's right. That's a biggie.
Really important part.
That's right,
Yeah. Because it can make or break a relationship.
That's right.
So let's look at this. And again, men and women do think differently.
That's right, they do.
I don't care what anyone says. You can say this, say that, say it's misogynist, whatever. But we do think differently. We respond differently. I think everybody can agree to, or should agree to that, because it's a fact.
Yes, it is a fact. It is.
And men have a very simple, fixed view of money. Yeah. Generally speaking, we believe that if we have money, we can buy the things we want to give us that status.
That's right.
And we feel that if we have the trinkets, the car, the house, the money in the bank, it will attract the woman
That's
that
right.
we want,
That's right.
and we can buy her
The
things and take care of her.
That's right.
That's the simple thing, the simple image. You know, there are more to it, of course, but it's a simple image to it.
Yeah.
But men don't understand that image doesn't translate the same for
Right,
women.
for women, that's right. Very different for women. It is. Yeah.
It seems to translate from a very simplistic point of view is that it's more about security first.
That's right.
Can that man provide security? Does he make me feel safe? Am I financially secure with this man? Does he provide financial security? So what the guys try to do when they're younger, they try to get there, lift weights, get muscles, do this, thinking that it's going to attraction.
That's right.
Thinking that it's just a sex thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And later on, they find out, oh no, it's not really about that at all. But what security I can provide.
Right, yeah. And it's funny, my friend actually, he's younger. He's kind of doing the whole dating thing. So kind of say 28 kind of thing, and he's doing the whole dating thing, and he told me about this app and his profile, and he's got his bio on there, and on there he's living his best life. He's got everything out there in terms of going on holidays, and you think, and you can imagine obviously a woman walking past a shop and thinking, oh, that looks quite nice in there. Oh, let me have a look and have a greater look. And he's looking at, she's going to go through his bio and looking at, oh, he goes on a couple of holidays a year. Oh, got a nice car. Looking at all of these, ticking at these boxes. Oh, that ticks, that's ticks. And actually, but it's an illusion.
Yeah, well, exactly. But this is an unconscious thing that people do for the safety. It's because money is not romantic in its own right, because it touches everything romantic love must need to survive. So security, power, trust, time, future planning, all these things are going through her mind as to whether he will be an appropriate.
That's right.
Yeah. Unless you think, well, there's a new narrative now with some women, right? And that's another story in its own right, which I will get to. But I'm just looking at, there's two sides of the story here. The romantic side of the idea of what a guy believes, and what, he's secure, they get together, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Then there's this nouveau situation that occurs now, where men are still operating on almost the same parameters, but more so about money, or more so about status. That's being enhanced even more. All right. But women now have moved into the position of money also.
That's right. Yeah.
I don't need a man. I don't need a partner. I don't need a boyfriend. I don't need somebody. I'm going to make the money for myself.
That's right. Yep.
And in doing so, it would seem that in the early years, there's fun, there's happiness, there's joy. Right. She's meeting up with a girlfriend, she's traveling, she's going here, newfound freedom. And to some degree, there is a degree of happiness, a degree of stability to some degree, a degree of security for her because she's got her money doing that. And it's great.
That's right.
But what it also shows in stats and so on is that this is short-lived.
That's right.
This is only for maybe a 7-year period.
That's right, yeah.
Something else kicks in. That's innate. And that may be to settle down, to have children, whatever it is. Those things are innate in women, whether they like it or not. There's a clock that ticks, and a reproductive natural desire for a lot of women. Not for all, but for a lot of women. I want to settle down.
That's right.
You can't just change. You can't just, engineer that out.
That's right.
You can't just have money as a tool and get rid of that.
That's right.
So what's happening is that they're thinking, well, and I hear it, and it's a bit laughable because it's almost as if when you hear some women say, right, I've got the job, I've got the money, or I've got business, I've got money, I've got this, I've got
That's
the
right.
house,
That's
I've
right.
got
That's right.
this.
Yeah.
It's like a tick list.
Yeah.
And I want a child.
No, I know. I know.
And I'm probably going to have a child there. And not recognizing you need to have the right person.
I know.
You need to have somebody who wants to have a
That's the
child
that
with you.
And another thing, Andrew, just to mention actually.
Hold on, I'm not finished.
Okay, go on.
Yeah, but the point, that's not factored in.
That's right. That's right.
So what happens is that at a certain point, wherever that might be late 20s, might be 30s, maybe nowadays it's 35 going on to 40.
Yeah.
You know, where they're thinking, oh, I'll have a child. They're suddenly finding that they now want to find a man
that's right,
around the same age,
right, that's right,
around the same age, who is going to want to be with them. But this is the problem. This is the big problem, what seems to be the case. The guy that they want, they have this masculine energy.
Yeah.
I'm a leader. I've got to go and get that. I do what I want to do when I want to do it. And that's not attractive to the man.
That's right. That's right.
That's not attract. That sort of energy, that sort of projection is attractive to the man. So seeing the guy, oh, so what are you doing? What have you got? Where have you been? What have you done? Good. I'm looking at what I want in my life because they're coming with this very assertive, strong, masculine energy.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, I would want to settle down now. I want to have a child, family. And it's like, wow, really? You want to do these all the things you want to do? Like,
I don't even get a feature in this. You know what I mean?
No. He's thinking that the approach, the energy, the approach is not.
That's right. Viable for a kind of a family.
What he wants.
That's right.
Not what he's looking at.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's looking at getting to know her.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Seeing how things are. She's like, this is what I want.
Yeah.
This is on my bucket list. Yeah. And it's not working.
That's right.
So they're finding that they can't find somebody. They get with somebody, you know, I got rid of him because he doesn't want to commit.
That's right, yeah.
And they go for 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, God. I'm not getting there. And they're getting depressed.
Yeah.
They're getting themselves in a position where they're not happy. Like, it's not working. I've done everything I'm supposed to do. In their mind, they've done everything they're supposed to do. They've done everything that their handbook has said they should do. And where's the promise now? Where is the reward? And they're not getting it.
That's right.
You see? And that's really interesting. It's not happening because the guys are not looking, they're thinking, well, no, I don't really want that. They're not want to go down that road.
That's right.
They don't want to know. They're like, no, I'd rather be happy on my own.
That's right.
I'm not committing a relationship. They're just what a lot of men are seeming to do again because it's the money thing. I'm not going into talk about relationships as a whole, but just what money does to it. Is that the guy's like, well, okay, I can go on holiday, I can do this, I can do that, and I'm having my needs fulfilled on a more casual basis, and I'm making do with that.
That's right.
Whereas with a woman, she's feeling this like instinctual need to, to nest and to create, and she wants to make it happen.
Yeah,
and it's not there because the connection's not right.
That's right.
You see, and money has created this, not money, but in the person, the idea, the concept, it's unveiled a nature of who they are. But that person, because they've not looked at themselves in a holistic way, looked at themselves to really true nature of who and what they are, they've not done the work.
Yeah.
Put that way.
Yeah. And I think, years of being, if you 5 or 6 or 10 or 15 years of working in an industry or working in a job, no accountability, you're working and you're managing your time.
I don't understand it. So in the industry, no accountability.
Sorry. What I meant by that is in terms of working and you're just accountable for yourself as a person, as an individual. And as a result of that, what happens is you only have to answer to yourself. So therefore then, when the time comes where you're talking about, having to meet a man, you haven't, as you said, you haven't done any work with yourself. So therefore you're not even ready to even think about the possibilities of compromise, working together, all of those kind of things that come with partnership, families.
Well, you see, you do have, if you look at this masculine and feminine energy, you do have this problem where a lot more women have what's seen as masculine energy, and that's not really gelling with guys. It's not working. It's not working at all. Guys just don't generally like it. So they can't find that happy, nurturing relationship.
Yeah.
They can't really find it.
Yeah.
Where you find, and also again, there's another factor, where you find that sort of strong energy, and a guy falls into that because he thinks, oh well, it's the way things are.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
He's discarded very quickly
Quickly.
when he doesn't meet the grade.
That's right. Yeah.
So let's say a situation like this. He's working, doing okay because he ticks the list on her list,
Yes,
right? So
yeah,
they're
yeah.
together. He goes through a difficult time at work, loses his job, things aren't really working for him, things aren't going right.
Yeah.
She's working the breadwinner.
That's right. In the house. That's right. Yeah.
After several months, there are issues,
That's right. Yep. Okay. That's right.
and she feels that he's a burden.
Yeah.
It's not working. I need a split. She goes, and he's gone.
And a guy, it's the same. I'll say similar. He didn't lose his job, but in the same type of way.
Yeah.
And they've been together for years.
Yeah,
Family, children, everything.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
And that's happening more. So again, more women are instigating divorces and breakups.
That's right. That's right.
So again, it's just newfound, but there's it's not thought out, I think, and this newfound freedom with money
That's right. Yeah.
and the independence it brings a degree of responsibility and accountability, and that's not being thought through.
Yeah.
For a lot of women, and it unveils this nature, this I think for people, again, not just women, for men and women, of this society we live in, where it's very selfish.
That's it. Yeah.
Very individualistic. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's no greater good for family, for community, society, and so on. There's none of that.
No.
It's really about what I
I
want.
want.
And a lot of women talk about I want, I need, I want. And if you look at profiles, just look at profiles, what people write about, these dating type profiles.
Yeah.
Look at the profile, what they do.
Yeah.
In terms for research, it's what I want, I want, I want, I want, I want, I want. That's all people are writing.
Often, yeah. It's normalized now.
So when they're looking at just what I want, they're going in with, are my needs going to be met? These are the things I'm expecting. So if they don't get it, it's gone. But the problem is this: when that keeps occurring, that it's not working, not working, not working. When does the time occur when they realize there's something wrong with them, not necessarily something wrong with the people they're with? You see, that's
that realization.
That realization. When does that occur for them? Because even though they might have the money,
yes, that's right, yeah,
and all the trinkets that they're associated with that, when they're going to do the work on them, that's another story. Because the money has only lifted the veil. It's only amplified a darker nature of who they are. See? And I think that, again, in that process, and not for everybody, but for some people, I think there are going to be people, I think, who are generally generous and really good and loving and whatever it is. And that's going to amplify them. And they're going to be in a happy household.
That's right, yeah.
They're going to be in a happy situation, a happier situation. But that's few and far between nowadays, because society's created so much. I mean, this system that we exist in has created so much selfishness in that process. So is money root of all evil? I would say no. It has really exacerbated the situation about people and how we are, and shown us as people, who we are, and what we're about. You know, I think that's what really.
It's
Mm.
yeah. It's funny because I was thinking in terms of kind of the moral compass in terms of kind of when I think about in terms of money, and how the landscape has kind of changed a lot. Now I was thinking about what people kind of do for to achieve money, in regards. And I know obviously we talk about, sex workers, prostitution. It's been there from the beginning of time. But thinking about in terms of what people are doing now in terms of recognition by means of sexual activities, I mean, I know obviously just recently there was, I think, the Lily Phillips, I think her name was, where she had, I think, performed. I think it was 100 people,
Who's sorry?
1,000 people. Was it Lily Phillips? Was it one of the? It was a lady that was on I think OnlyFans, I think it was. And she
I don't
and
know.
yeah, but anyway, but basically, what she did is she performed sex with 100 or 1,000 guys. I don't know what it was, what the situation was. But my point was that she did that obviously to gain attention. It was almost a record that was going to be broken. So therefore, then her audience would go up, and as a result, she would obviously get more likes, and as a result, get more recognition, more money as a result of that. And what we're seeing now in this arena now is that the moral compass of that bar has been lowered. Social media reporting on it, and it's becoming a norm within society as we see it right now. And I think the concern is when I look at that in terms of where we are today, that bar is being lowered and lowered, and actually it's becoming a norm. It's okay for say young girls to go out there and to I want to better that because this is I want to do better than
Well,
that.
you do hear. I don't know how much it is prevalent, but you do hear a lot more on social media of girls saying, "Well, he's got to earn a certain amount of money
Money.
for me to be with him," and there is almost this contract that if he's earning the sort of money, then he's going to get the sexual favors.
As barter, isn't it?
That's
It's
a
like a
trade.
barter. Yes, I know. Yeah,
So, and you hear guys saying, "Well, I can't afford her. I can't afford to
food.
take her
Yeah,
out. So therefore, I'm not going to
we do
bother."
this. Yeah,
And that's, to me, that's
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
That's crazy that money, that you
manipulative
think money is a tool. And if you don't have that
tool.
tool,
That's it.
you cannot experience life or
Yes,
cannot
yeah.
experience the warmth of another
The
person to
person
talk, to share, and to be in a relationship.
should.
That doesn't make sense.
Nah.
And thinking about that, going back many
Yes,
years,
yeah.
growing up for myself, you, yes, what girls at that time want to know is that you're ambitious.
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
They wanted to know you're ambitious. They weren't too concerned about if you didn't have money, but they want to know you're ambitious and that you're trying and that you want to do something yourself. And then they would get with you and work with you to
Yeah.
develop and to push
Push it
forward.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That was the thing.
That was the key.
And
Yeah,
a lot of time when I was growing up, not everybody had a car
yeah.
straight away. You worked towards
We
getting a
did
car.
That's right.
I
Yeah,
mean, having a car helped, make sure the car was clean and wasn't
that's
and
right.
working.
Yeah.
And a girl was quite
I'm
happy with
that.
that.
That's right. Yeah,
Yeah. And so you could build with that.
that's right.
Now, I think for younger guys it's harder because a lot of girls may expect a guy, not all, but may expect a guy to have a nice car,
That's
to
right.
have lots of money, to take her out to lots of nice places.
Well, you
So the
see,
bar's raised.
that's now you see it. Look, and I mean, not be funny. I think, and you're like, back in the day, obviously you'd be running around in a car that may cost 400, 500, 600 pounds. Now, today, if we look at this time, I mean, I look at young people now,
Tens of thousands of pounds.
listen, they're driving 10,000, 15, 20,000 pounds on car.
Tens of thousands.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I'm just like, whoa. And it's like, oh, yeah, it's my first car. And I'm like, wow, that's your first car. You know?
£30,000, £40,000 first car.
Seriously.
Yeah. It's a whole different ball game now, I think, for some people. But not for everybody.
Yeah.
Not for everybody. I see that there are people who are still sort of not working in that way.
Well, yeah.
But I think that in terms of what I think is more indicative of what's happening now is that the bar has been raised in so much as that women will do what they want to do now, which is great in that sense. But the way in which they're making the choices may be a little bit questionable.
Yeah.
Because they think, well, I'm doing what I'm going to do, I'm joining here, da 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 da. And there's a disconnect.
There is a disconnect. Yeah, there is.
There is a disconnect, but again, because of money. So I think there are a lot of there's a lot of things we wanted to go through running short of time
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
But a lot of things here that that money. I'm not going to get to my own opinion. I know you can share yours as well. My own opinion is that money is what we need to pay. Money is an important thing. Pay our bills, keep ourselves, sheltered, to eat,
Yeah.
and so on. It is a very important part, and having more of it allows you to do more of the things that you want to do. So it is very, very important. But I think if you're ever lucky enough to get yourself in a position where you have a lot of money, like shut up money,
Okay.
shut up, it doesn't shut up. Then I think that where you have to, if you get some money, you have to do the work on yourself to realize, well, to be balanced.
That's right. Yeah, I think that's really important.
And to make sure that you have the right people around you that are able to contradict you and say, I think you got that wrong.
Yeah.
And to talk about things in a balanced way. Because I think some people who do have money don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
They believe that they may be right.
Yeah.
And I think, that is not healthy for them. Yes, they're driven. Yes, they've done really well. Yes, they've moved forward and done that. But I think to be contradicted is something that's important. And also, again, if you've got a lot of money, choosing the right partner, how do you know that the partner that you've chosen is the right person
for you? That's right. Yeah.
Yes, you're providing security and all those sort of things, but if things go a bit pear-shaped, are they still going to be around? I think it brings its own
burdens. I think
and changes the landscape and the issues that you're going to encounter. So that's all I need to say. What's your point?
No, I would definitely agree with that. I think experiencing people that have had money around me, and I think.
What's your view? What's
my view? My view.
Other people's views.
I think it's important that you do work on yourself. I think I would agree with that. I think that because money, I think, can influence you in many different ways. It's imagine if you have, an untold amount of money. I mean,
how hundreds of millions.
Seriously, into how that shapes you and just can send you into different places. And I think the work on ourselves, I think, yes, is very important. And what I would say is that in terms of kind of going forward, that, I don't know, I would say just the importance of it. I think I would say really just the importance of just understanding yourself in terms of that. Because I think otherwise you can see yourself, money can be the what they call it, the demise of you very, very, very quickly. And I think ultimately if you want to put yourself in a good place and understanding how that impacts and the way it shapes you.
And again, going back to what I was saying, will money be the demise of you, or will you be the demise of yourself?
Actually, you're right. That's
will that allow you to be unhinged, arrogant, uncontrolled? Will it mean that you lack moral judgment? Will it mean that you have no boundaries, that you can buy everything, you can do whatever it is you want to do? How much self-control would you be able to display? I think that's what people, I think, need to look at.
And I think one of the things that you did mention, which I think is very true, is your network is your net worth. The people around you that you surround yourself with, people that actually are willing to challenge your view of how you see the world or how you talk about things or see things, I think is very, very important. I think otherwise you can find
around positive people, but also people who are willing to challenge your view.
Yeah.
And people who don't necessarily have money.
Yes. It's funny
because it's a very funny situation. I think.
Yeah.
Well, I'm talking like I'm a multimillionaire. I'm not a multimillionaire. I'm just saying.
Not there yet. Not
yet. Soon. But I think it's important to have. I think people who are multimillionaires.
Yeah.
Surround themselves with
multimillionaires. That's what I was going to say.
And have a particular way of thinking.
That's right.
And maybe lose sight of where they're coming from or where in that
They're not
sense.
as
I
grounded.
think, yeah, and I think that
Yeah.
if there were people who didn't have as much money, who weren't lost in their own bizarre world of trying to get money and
Money
lose sight of
of that.
themselves,
Yeah.
but were balanced or grounded in a certain. I think it's important to have those people around you as
Valued.
well.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And on that note, we're going to leave it there. But we just thought we'd talk about it and share our thoughts. What's your views on it? I'd be interested to see when you put it in the comment section. So please like, share, and subscribe. And thank you very much for tuning in. Cheers. Thanks. Bye bye.
Bye bye.